Greetings, everyone. This is Davina Liggins, and I've come before you to continue our conversation about sodium. And today we're going to talk about labels and how it is presented. Sodium amounts and percentages are presented on the labels because it may not be what you think it is. So I would like to just remind you about what Healing Made Whole is all about. And the company that I started to try to provide education and understanding about the basic physiology of the body and how lifestyle impacts that, and how the lifestyle can bring about symptoms and disorders and diseases, or how it can bring about longevity, health, and balance within the body. And the main way to do that is to provide, like I said, knowledge and basic understanding of the physiology of the body, and how, with that understanding, better choices can be made. So that's all what I'm about. And so if you would like to work with me to understand what's going on in your body and how to optimize or change your lifestyle habits to bring about changes in what's going on with your body in terms of preventing disease, or progression or what have you, um, or at least taking steps that you can do to get on that track. We can't say what will happen 100% all the time, but nonetheless, that's what I'm about. So today we want to talk about food labels and how sodium is presented on those labels to try to help us understand how we can make better choices. So I want to start by reminding you about sodium consumption. So basically, sodium is a mineral, it's essential for life and must be consumed in the diet. Salt itself is the major contributor to sodium intake in the diet. Most of our sodium comes from salt, and processed food constitutes most of the sodium in the diet, about 70 to 80% of the sodium comes from processed food. So if you're looking for a way to cut down on the sodium, it's probably best to start with cutting out the processed food. Um, you'll make great strides in your goal. So, as I stated before, the body only needs about 500 milligrams of sodium a day for vital function. However, most people consume, this is in terms of adults, consume 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day. Now, according to the American Heart Association, the ideal maximum limit is let me switch. The ideal maximum limit is 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day. That's ideal. However, the current limit is 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. And they say on their website that they are moving to the 1,500 milligrams of sodium today. I present the maximum limit as 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day. If you've seen my previous um, presentation on this, because why wait? Why wait for them to make that change? You can make that change and establish 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day in your diet. And what I would like to point out to you is that the food labels are based on uh, 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. And here's what that looks like. So here's an example of a food label. It's like a noodle soup. It doesn't really matter the brand or what it is, but you can't really see it here, but the sodium content is 1,160 milligrams. This is in one serving. And so when you look at the daily value here, it says 51%. And the way you get that is you take 1,160 milligrams per serving, And you divide it by that 2,300 milligrams of sodium upper limit per day, and you get about 51%, and that's what's on the label. However, if your goal is to have no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day, and you do the same calculation, so you take 1,160 milligrams per serving, and you divide that by 1,500 milligrams, that's the upper limit now, you will come out with 77%. So in this one cup of soup, you have consumed 77% of your total sodium that you need for that day at the maximum limit. Now, this far exceeds that lower limit of 500 milligrams, the minimum amount that you need. But when we look at the maximum amount, this is 77%. So if you just go by the percentages on the label, you will be deceived. What you want to do is get in the habit of tracking your sodium intake based on the amount, the actual milligrams, according to the package label, and not percentages, because the percentages are based on 2,300 milligrams of sodium as the upper limit. And if you're shooting for, or your goal is to aim for 1,500, then you could potentially run the risk of consuming a lot more sodium than that goal if you're going just by percentages. So I hope that was helpful to someone. I just wanted to come on here and briefly explain the labels, what's going on. If you're the type of person like I am, you do some calculations, you're like, wait, this is not adding up here. This is what's going on, at least here in the labeling here in the US. So just be mindful of that. Always go by the actual amount of sodium and not the actual percentages to track your sodium intake. All right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. I will see you the next time. Take good care.